So we're here talking about lesson one, and well, this week is onboarding. This is a getting ready to be ready deal. So I think we're all excited, and part of what can lead to this excitement is knowing that the analogy. I love this analogy that we're leaving the known shore, and to get to the far distance shore, you have to go out in the middle of the ocean for a bit. And as well as we can navigate that, and certainly with this we can, there's going to be twists and turns, there's going to be exciting things, there's going to be huge wins, there's going to be huge less wins, which are amazing learning experiences. I mean, someone said to me, what have you learned the most from? And I'm like, the things that I completely blew up. you know like and I don't believe that we have to blow things up anymore to learn from them, because we have discernment, right? We have the ability to take a step back and say, okay, this experience came into my life, here's what I've made of it. What if this is a lesson? What if this is pointing me in a direction of more greatness? What if it's leading me to see something that I never saw before? Interesting story that I'll share in another moment, about a gal that I've had a sales call with. And she is like such a learning opportunity for me. And I'm still in the conversation with her, but she is just hell bent for leather. I'm getting either a written guarantee or sampling the course first. And part of me is like, I don't need this. My work speaks for itself. I have people calling me and giving me credit cards, out of the blue. Like, no, I'll answer any question you have, but here's my pedigree. Here's the results. She watched all the lessons, the 5 days last week, heard Kathy's beautiful testimonial. Like, it's not that she doesn't know, there's some other issue. So anyway, at first I was like, oh, and then I was like, you know what? This is a lesson. This is a lesson about where I stand with what I teach and who I am and how I attract people. And I know I can help her. I would love to help her, but not enough to compromise my standards to get her money and get her into the program. And it was never a thought of that, but it was like, at what point, do I need to? Anyway, so life has these lessons. Yeah, Kathy.
Don't you think, of course, it's her paradigms that are.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you see these very difficult people, like I just had a client leave, and I'm going to myself, I might have been that bad and I just didn't even know it. We might have been that difficult. I don't know.
It's entirely possible. And the truth is, she has a concern. She's been somehow burned. I've tried to unearth that with her. But the point is, I've realigned, I'm pure in my desire to help her. I'm going to talk to her after this call. And I'm just going to say, look, here's my deal. These are my standards. This is how I operate my business. If you want to come in and join us, that would be great. I know for a fact I can help you achieve your goals. And if you have a problem, I'm happy to talk to you about that as well. I mean, that's why I'm here, and you're not doing this alone on your computer. But if you come in with an attitude of wanting an ironclad guarantee,
there's no way.
What energy is that in the group? And how is that going to turn out for you? What you believe is true. So it's an interesting thing to have. I've gotten to the point now, and I'm not saying every day and every way, but when things happen, I stand back and I say, it's a lesson for me. Rather annoying one, or what can I learn here? How can I grow in my grace? So this program is going to do two things. It's going to do several things, but it's going to, on a very high level, like on a 50,000 foot view, it's going to keep you in the study of who you are and the universal laws and how you can really lever those to get the results you want. It's going to deepen your understanding of things like attitude. Remember, we talked about attitude in lesson 9. The very first chapter is on the magic word. And what's so beautiful about this is that Bob comes at this from a different angle. And so you're going to get a more comprehensive understanding of what attitude is. And what I love about this program is you're going to immediately put it to work. We're not resting on theory here. We're doing actual, like, taking your C-type goals and putting them into play. And it's so fabulous. I can't say enough about it. It's so good. And it's going to help all of you with your businesses, increase your income, whatever goals you have, it's going to really give you a much deeper understanding and then put it into action. And I'm not suggesting that you weren't putting it into action. You all were, but it's different, right? So we're going to have a good time with this. So that's going to be fun. So the goal this week, I feel like I'm on Mission Impossible. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to, and then this will like fizzle out at the end of the Zoom call. Your mission is to really, I want you to really go back and think about lesson 1 in TIR. And if you want, go back to the lesson and listen through it at least once or twice. The point here is I want you to go into this next phase of your learning and of raising your awareness pretty clear about what you want your life to look like, right? What those goals are. And I want to take the pressure off the goal date and things like that, because I think that can cause resistance. So when I just got off the phone with a client who wants to bump her income up to $500,000 a year. Well, after taxes, so 650 a year. And she didn't seem excited about it. And I was like, I'm not really feeling your love for your C-type goal. And she said, yeah, I know I'm not. I'm like, okay, let's talk about it. She said, I just can't get excited about the money. She makes money, it comes, it goes, whatever. I said, okay, well, what are you going to do with that money that you will be excited about? Or how are you going to serve people in a way that you will get excited about that will lead you to generate that amount of income? And she was like lit up like a light bulb, not literally, but like energetically. I could feel her energy lighting up. Does that make sense? Like I could see something got touched inside of her, like, yeah, that's it. And she started talking about how she helps people buy and sell houses, how passionate she is about that, how she becomes, so connected in a very lovely way to her clients, how they trust her. They go to her, they know she's going to do a good job for them. And I said, okay, great. How many families do you want to help like that this year to help you achieve your financial goal? And she's like, oh, that's easy, 50. I said, okay. So why am I telling you this story? Because this week, between now and when we meet next week, Monday, we're going to take Thursday off. This week, I want you to spend time thinking about what is it that you would really love, the what and the why. The what and the why. And so, for example, you could take a sheet of paper and you could write down columns. You can use that wheel of life, which I can repost here, to say, in the area of my physical health, what do I want and why? Like one of my C-type goals is to have better health, to release weight, to heal my knee, to be stronger. Why? And I see myself hiking. I see myself skiing completely strong and flexible. I see myself riding my bike. I see myself playing golf, strong, healthy, resilient, flexible, running after my grandkids. So we're going to go to Chicago at the end of the month, and they live in this lukewarm swimming pool at the Hilton that we always rent a room at. but I want to be able to keep up with them. They're going to be 8 and 10. I can't even believe it this year. So that's what lights my fire. I want to be able to run after them and have that, I want to have that dynamic. Lydia, my oldest daughter, went skiing with us on Saturday. I was doing a fairly good job of keeping up, but I want to learn how to ski in the powder because we happen to have a lot of it this year, as Laura can attest. It just hasn't stopped, which is awesome. So the what and the why: money, what and why; business, what and why; relationships, what and why; health, what and why. You get the picture here, right? Because when we're really dialed into it emotionally, it's easier to stay in that alignment with the frequency of the good we desire. And then we're going to take those intentions, C-type goals, whatever feels the best way to refer to them or to hold them energetically. And we're going to start to really learn how to internalize these on a very, very deep level, and also how to externalize them, how to go into action on them. So that's my overview. What questions does my lovely ladies have here?
Does lesson 1 get into any of this what and why that you
Not in this particular way. And you
Oh,
all
okay.
have access now.
Right.
After you do this, you all have access in Talent LMS, as Laura noted,
Yeah.
to access Lead the Field.
Yes.
So I'm sending you a workbook. You may want to, I'll probably be there by weekend.
Oh, good.
But you could, I've printed lesson. I printed one for myself at the printer, but I have it's a biggie. And you can 3-hole punch it. You can staple it by chapter. It's completely up to you. Laura's got her own system. Um, so this lesson 1 is really about attitude in a way that we didn't study it in TIR. It comes at it, wouldn't you say, Lisa, from a different angle?
It does. It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I find it to be like, oh, that's cool. That's what I didn't know about attitude. And then, Earl has a challenge here at the end. And we're going to talk about that challenge next week, where he challenges us to treat everybody we come into contact with an attitude of gratitude. And it's all laid out in here. But what I love about this is that it's got graphics. It's also got, parenthetically, a really cool like margin you can write notes in for those of us who love to do everything, highlight, right in the margins. He goes really deeply, Kathy, into how to create a winning attitude. Like, very specifically, how do we do this? Because when you walk out into the world channeling a very positive energy to and through you, that's all you can attract back to you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it's powerful. We do have a lesson in here, and I'm forgetting which number it is, called A Worthy Ideal, which does talk about setting goals, but you've already been in, and it will also expand on what we know about goal setting. But the reason I want you to think about this going into it is the following. The more we can embody our desires, our life script, our dream, which we're going to talk about more, the more we can stay in the vibration of that, the more we will attract to us everything we need. It's that, Laura, it's that moving from by me to through me. Look at her. She's like, yes, please. Lay it down, Laura. Lay it down. I know. The hustle and the grind. Listen, it's so hard to stop the hustle and grind when that's our programming. Because it works. Like, why would you abandon a winning strategy? Because it's exhausting. And there's an easier way, and I'm not saying to never pick it up. I'm just saying, let's play with it. And that's the other thing that we're going to be talking about in this program. And it's embodied in here. It's definitely embodied in here, is playing with the energy of it, listening to the feelings we have, listening to our intuition, paying attention to that wisdom that's moving to and through us, asking for it. Laura, you're good at that. You ask. You're like, hey, am I on the right track? Is this the right thing? Right? So this is going to be familiar in some ways, but really cool and a logical next step in the progression of what you're learning. And I believe you would all agree that your results have gone, you've had a pretty parabolic, maybe not. What I like to say is it goes like this. It goes reet, 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 reet. Sometimes it goes back down, then it comes back up. It's not a straight line up, but as much of a straight line or not, or of a trend up that you've had, this is going to just be like putting it into a rocket ship. That's my promise to you. That's my positive expectation for everyone in this group, that you're going to have the confidence and the courage and the awareness that when you go to step out, Lisa, in that kind of excited, nervous at the same time feeling, what you learned in TIR will pop into your head. Oh, this is the terror barrier I'm dealing with, you know? And then you're like, wait a minute, I have a choice here. Who's running the show? My fear or me? Me. My what
My
and my why?
my fear can go sit by the pool in the chair and get some sunlight. And me
Right.
and my happy place are going to stay over here and imagine
Yeah.
all the wonderful things.
Yes, exactly. Fear, you can go. I see you. They're there.
Go sit
Go
over
sit
in the
in,
sun.
go sit in the corner, and the adults are talking here. You know, my higher self is talking here. And that's a beautiful thing, is the more we are in control. And I don't mean white knuckle grip control. I mean, the more we're steering our energy, steering our focus, steering our awareness, then we can relax. We can let it go. We can know that if we're doing the one thing, remember that in City Slickers, the one thing, if we're doing the one thing that is our work to do, which is to know the what and the why, hold the image of it. I guess it's more than one thing, but we are here to cause the effect. And the way we cause the effect is we hold the image of it. We get happy and joyful about it, sometimes a little scared. And we just have that faith that if we just hold that image and we keep that image of it and we hold it and we act in faith, the effect must happen by law. Laura.
I had a little teeny taste of that.
Yeah.
Just that. And it wasn't only just a relief, it was joyful.
Yes.
It was fun. It was fun. And I'll tell you,
Yeah.
ladies, what it was. And it's something so minor that to anybody else, and I've tried to share this with somebody that doesn't really understand what I'm doing, and it just sounded stupid when it was coming out of my mouth. I thought anyway, it has to do with weight.
Yeah.
And I decided I wanted to identify, and please, I hope this doesn't offend anybody, but I wanted to identify as a 155-pound woman. I currently weigh 230 something. I'm not sure, but and so I have had an eating disorder almost all my life. Last 3 years, I've worked really hard, white knuckled it, did everything I was supposed to do, and all of a sudden I realized there's something else. So worked on paradigms, right? And then I just decided I would see myself. And then Peggy and I had a conversation. And in the week before, I had decided I was going to restrict a little bit, not to extremes, but just a little bit, that I really just would like to get rid of, just release the fat, release myself from this a little bit. And by the end of the week, I was discouraged. I talked with Peggy, and somehow it shifted to, oh, I can just see myself zipping up my cute little pants and my cute little jeans with my cute little butt, walking around in my sexy little boots and loving it. And I could see it, and I could see it. And I'm like, and I did that for 3 days. I stopped caring about what I was eating. Really kind of wondered if it was just all kinds of wrong. And the reason why I was discouraged, because I got on the scale, and then I was heavier than I thought. I had this conversation, had 3 days of eating whatever I wanted, but having this fun thoughts, right? Then I wanted to get on the scale on Tuesday. I thought, nope, I can be on the scale. That's okay. I probably lost 3 pounds. I think I've lost 3 pounds. And hell if I didn't lose 3 pounds.
Boom.
That's awesome.
Absolutely
Right.
didn't make any sense whatsoever in my
Wow.
normal world, but it was everything that Peggy's been talking about.
Yeah.
I went, wow, that was fun.
Yeah.
I just got to apply it all the time. Now then I went on vacation, and and anyway, so
Yeah. I love that.
yeah, I need this.
Yeah. And what's so great is that you guys have made so much progress. I mean, Kathy can attest to this. Like you just keep getting better and better and better, and things level up, level up. I mean, Kathy, oh my gosh, we have grown together so much.
We have
know,
5 years of it.
It's just been
Not even the
amazing.
same person. Or not.
No, I mean, truly, right? What is it? Your cells turn over completely every 7 years. I think we accelerate that because here's a cool thing. And I love your story, Laura. The effortless, people are like, teach me how to manifest. I really want to manifest. I want to manifest this. I want to manifest this Prada wallet. I want to manifest blah, 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 whatever. I get it. I love the shiny stuff too. Love me it. But here's the thing. I've had this for years. I love this. It's gorgeous. It's Italian. It's handmade. It's beautiful. But that's not what my life is about. It holds my money and my credit cards. But that's not what my life is about. The fun part is what Laura was talking about. It's having your hands in the clay. It's kind of like we're taking the training wheels off, kids, and there's going to be a few scraped knees, but that never stopped a true kid from learning how to ride that bike without the training wheels, right?
No.
So I love that. I love that you brought that up, Laura, because this is the essence. And Lisa, you and I talked about this last time, and Kathy, you too. Like, what if were easy? Like super freaking easy.
Apparently it is.
Who would have thunk? Who would have
Yeah.
thunk, right?
Yeah. Wow.
Get out of my own way.
She just wants to be heard. Faith just wants to be heard. She's read Kathy's book, Claiming Your Voice. So she's claiming her voice. But that's the thing. And I find this especially for those of us who have a good work ethic, which, by the way, nothing wrong with that. But what's the work? The work is getting into alignment. The work is plugging in the vacuum before you vacuum the floor. The work is changing our perception that it is easy. We're always thinking about something, and it's always eventually moving to and through us into form.
That's the hard part for me. And no, that's not the hard part. Let me change that. That's my work, just to notice what I'm thinking, gently notice it, and redirect it.
Yeah.
and redirect
Yeah.
and notice. And then even being able to, like, I thought, okay, that's really easy for me to visualize that cute little body, my cute little body.
Mhm.
Now I need to figure out how I can really visualize and have fun with the wellness center and people coming in.
Mhm.
You know, I mean,
Exactly.
I need a visual that I
Yeah.
can, yeah, I think that's what I've been missing.
Okay. Yeah, we do think in images, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's
How else would I do
interesting.
it?
Images, smells. Has anybody ever noticed, like, if you smell something like your grandmother's perfume, like, boom, you're right back there. So we are going to work on building images and tethering to that, anchoring to that, because that is what the image in the mind, which comes from the imagination, the imagination, um, that image evokes a feeling, but the feeling can evoke an image too. I believe it can work in both directions. But like with this client I was just on the phone with, I said, well, share with me how it felt to help this one family. And she's like, oh my gosh, this family, this Indian family, they loved me so much. They're like, you need to come to all our ceremonies. And, and like, who said to their real estate agent ever, no one. I'm like, that's what, and she was just beaming, beaming. And I could tell she was lit up. I'm like, that's it. It's not the 600K. That's not what gets your motor started.
Mm-mm.
It's the people. And then we had a discussion about how when she looks at the money, then this happens, that I'm like, well, let's build a new belief around that. Okay. Shall we? But but here's the beautiful truth. It can be that easy. And actually it's meant to be that easy. We were just trained to think it was hard. And then what you believe is true, and now it's hard. And for those of us who have made a living or a life out of controlling things to get a specific outcome, it feels like scary to take your hands off the wheel. It's like, what's the song? Jesus, take the wheel. you know, like it's scary to take your hands off the wheel because it feels like you're not doing anything. But back to your point, Laura, what if what we're doing and what we're engaged in here is this very different thing that we've never been taught, but we're absolutely built to do, which is to discern, how am I feeling at any given moment?
Well, Peggy, you know what? I realized as a lifelong anxiety dweller that I'm already projecting into the future in a negative. I'm already
Yeah.
I'm just doing it on the opposite. Well, if I'm going to imagine something, I might as well imagine a cute little butt running around, right? Or a
Yeah.
wellness center.
Yeah.
Lisa, come on, look at Lisa's like, yeah, I want to. What's your goal, Lisa? There's a body goal there. It sounds like, or she just loves that. But
Right.
yeah, it's just like it's already happening. We're already thinking. I'm already thinking. Maybe not everybody thinks, but you know me, I think. So I might as well
Yeah.
think in the positive and in
Right.
the fun, not just the positive, but and that's the other part, the joy. I was like,
Yeah.
damn, I can have joy. It can be joyful. It doesn't have to be
For
work
no good reason.
for well to look
For
good
any
in
good
jeans.
reason. Yeah.
You
Just
know,
any.
I mean,
Yeah.
that is just so foreign and new to me and
Yeah.
exciting.
That's great. So
That's
that's part of your new story. And we're going to do over the next 3 months, we're going to literally rewrite the story, rewrite the script. Because as we know from thinking into results, the script, back to your point, let's look at it this way. I'm big on analogies and metaphors. There's a movie running. It's called The Movie of Your Life. It has actors in it, it has a director, you now at this point. Previously, it was directed by your genetics and by your environment. And it was a different playwright. It was your histrionics. It was your, well-intended, good things, functional things in there, some other stuff. Right? So now that you know your life is a story, it's through a lens, it's through a pair of glasses, right? It's through the perception, it's through the beliefs, that metacognition, life is hard.
Mhm.
I grew up with that one too. I have to be a good girl in order to be loved. I have to be the best to be loved and accepted. I have to have other people think well of me for me to be okay. That was kind of my childhood. Now, that's not a big violin moment. That's the blueprint I got. So here's the deal. Who's writing the story today? Because to your point, Laura, the story is going to be acted out and played out, and the result of the story is going to happen regardless of who wrote the story. Isn't
You're on
isn't that
mute.
cool?
Paradigms.
Paradigm.
Yeah, that's the beauty of this work. But I've also adjusted a little bit on the work of Byron Katie too.
Yeah.
That it doesn't all have to be sorted out. I think the tougher ones to do the work, it's so helpful. And there's so many beautiful principles there. But simply creating a new story.
Yeah.
Just create the damn story.
Damn it, Janet.
Yeah, Laura, I think your story is just amazing. It's just because what you're saying is we can create not just a new story out here in front of us, but we can change our body without acting on it. Like I don't know how it works, but it's the whole quantum physics thing, and I think it's amazing. And what you're saying, it's happening with you.
And it's going to continue to happen. And I don't know what I was really believing this week on vacation. We'll find out when we get on the scale.
Yeah.
And whatever it is, my story is going to still be okay. And the other part for me, because I am such a doer and I don't find fault with that, but I'm tired. But I just have to be gentle with myself. I just have to say, okay, I was on vacation and I was forgetting to have an imagination that was fun and joyful. And okay, or I'm going to get on the scale. I'm going to see that I lost more weight. Oh, that feels so much better. I like that.
Right.
I like that. Okay, I'll report back next week.
I love it. Well, and, Byron Katie, loving what is. I think there's also this, loving what is. Like, isn't it incredible? You have this, like all of us, we have these incredible bodies that have done incredible things. There's people who weigh 100 pounds who have lifted cars off their relatives. And, the human body is just remarkable and cherishing. When I'm like pulling a little bit on my muffin top, I'm like, wait a minute, I grew 3 human beings in this one.
Right.
They're 3 adult human beings now. But they're, our body is our vessel, but we're not our bodies. We're so much more. We're so much more. And to the extent that we can come to peace with what is and recognize it, I talked about this before somewhere. Recognizing, excuse me, that where you are now is a lagging indicator. Where you are now financially, where you are now physically, where you are now, whatever, fill in the blank, any circumstance in your life, relationships, is a lagging indicator of thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, paradigms, that you are expressing decisions up until today, up until this moment. I like to say this, up until yesterday, I believed this. Up until today, I used to do this. Up until then, I used to think, up until this moment, because every moment is that moment of observation, Laura. And I love the way you put this. And Lisa, and Kathy, I know you've experienced this where you're like,
Mhm.
wait a minute, when you're in the moment, you can see, you can have that metacognition position.
Mhm.
And then you can say, wait a minute, shit's getting real. It's going to get ugly pretty quickly. Like, I can see, right? Can't you see it? Like two doorways, fear or love.
Mhm.
That's it. You start to vibrate. Any cell in your body, Bob talked about that in lesson 8. Any cell in your body starts to pick up on a vibration of fear. Whoosh! It's like chutes and ladders. All of those doors start to open. And if you've ever had a day that started off as a bad day and things got picking up speed on it, you know what that looked like by the end of the day. And it wasn't pretty, right? Because the law of attraction works that way. If you hold a thought for 17 seconds, it will snowball. But here's the good news. When you can be in that position of the observer and say, you know what? I'm about to beat the crap out of myself about my weight, the way I look, how I feel, the choices I've made all up until today, and that's going to perpetuate more of the same. Then you have a choice in that moment. And are you going to choose love? What's the opportunity? What's the learning here? How can I be at peace with this? All of that. Like, okay. And the one question, and this I learned from Phil. I said, Phil, you've paid Bob a lot of money, more than you'll probably want to tell me you paid him. And you've done incredible things. What's the secret? What's the one thing? It's like, Peggy, it's very simple. Focus on what you want. I'm like, Phil, come on. It's got to be more complex than that. He's like, wish it was. I charge people a lot of money to tell them that. I said, I'm sure you do. So, so I've seen him do that though. He doesn't get wrapped up in the drama. And he's literally in the business of drama. He's a producer in Hollywood. It's all drama all the time,
I'm
on the
so
screen,
excited to
off.
meet him.
Yeah, he's a great guy on the screen, off the screen. He's dealing with very persnickety people, let's call them. Right?
He's gonna love me.
Cray cray. Cray cray people. And instead of getting into this one signed the contract, but now she doesn't want to do the film. And that means I'm going to lose my funding. And I mean, there are big stakes here. He's not just playing, he's like on the set of Universal. He's one of the busiest producers in Hollywood. There's a lot swinging in the balance. And you know what he does? I've seen him do this at our past retreats. He'll skip dinner, he'll go back to his room. And what he does is this: he focuses exclusively on what he wants.
Mhm.
Exclusively. He doesn't get involved in the shit show. That is, well, her agent said this and his agent said that. And now she's not going to, zero engagement in that. Look for that in your life and start to switch it around to, wait a minute, I have a choice here. What do I want? What am I going to focus my energy on? Because what I focus my energy on will expand, guaranteed. Cute story, fun story. I have a nice car. I like my car. It's the first new car I've bought in a while. She's like 4 years old, or 3 years old. I was up at Powder Mountain on Saturday. We left late because Lydia was late, and Lydia was up at the ticket window at the base lodge. And the bus that shuttles people up and down the mountain, we were parked in the right place. We were in this little waiting queue. And this bus pulled up next to me, hit the brakes, and slid on the sheet of ice into my car
Oh, no.
in slow motion while I was sitting in it.
So we're getting a new car?
No, we're getting the car fixed.
Oh,
I was hoping I was gonna
getting a
get
new
some,
car?
I'm getting some free season passes. Just kidding.
Oh, that's
That's an
cool.
inside joke. They're very hard to come by up at this resort. So any hoodles, I had a choice. Like the bus driver wasn't being nice. She didn't even apologize to us. Whatever, and like here was my car. I don't know. They'll pay for it. I'm sure they will. I'm sure they have good insurance, but it's not that. My car's now damaged. And it's going to take a week plus of, it's just whatever. It's a pain in the butt. But I had a choice. Was I going to be like, what the heck, you guys? Like, you know, you have a sheet of ice up here. This is clearly a danger. My daughter could have been getting out of that side of the car and been pinned between my car and the bus. That would have been far worse. Or am I just going to be like, whatever? And Lydia had just bought a $150 ski ticket. We have season passes. And as we were driving up to go ski, I thought to myself, if I ruminate on this and stay pissed off and righteous and, righteous indignation, I'm probably going to fall and break my leg. you know, like I don't want to be in that vibration. It's a car. If
That's
they had
right.
totaled it, it would have been paid. Like it's a car. It's just like my wallet. It's just like my phone. It's a car. It's not people. It's a car. So easy to say until this big, huge bus slides in slow motion into your vehicle. I'm like, no. But I just let it go. That seems like a small thing, but the truth is we have those choices every moment. And one of the things we're going to be talking about in this is when you will know when you're starting to go, when you feel your energy dropping
Mm-hmm.
into the lower, right, Kathy, wouldn't you say,
Yeah,
into the
absolutely.
negative emotions?
Yes.
Yeah. You start to feel that, that's your cue to say something's happening. Hold up. Hold up. What am I thinking about? These guys are assholes. Somebody could have been killed up here. What the hell? Nothing a $1,000 pass won't serve. Like I could have just been one of those people. And I was like, wait a minute. You know what? They're doing the best they can up here. I will let the GM know he's got a problem up there. He knows that now. And but that is it. That's here. My life and my life purpose is here. Like Laura's life purpose is literally saving people's lives and health and well-being. Kathy's purpose is a lot in line with what we're doing. Lisa's purpose, she's got her purpose too. So it's easy to say that, but this is where this discernment about the energy is really important because nobody's in charge of our energy but us. The gal that hit my car, she's on her own paradigmatic journey. She actually saw us driving down the road from the lower parking lot, and was like, those were the people I hit. And I was like, I could have made a gesture, but I was like, you know what? No. And it's funny. My daughter, who was in the car, said, Mom, I'm so proud of you. You don't know her life. You don't know if she's getting divorced. You don't know. You don't know, you don't know, you don't know. She might be scared for her job. This might be her only job. She might be worried about getting fired because she hit your car. Like the grace that you showed in that situation, was good. But it was not a freebie. That was a little work on my part. That was a little lifting those weights in the gym of my mental space. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's a real
So
moment of loving what is. That's the
yes, it
moment.
is.
It is.
Yeah.
That's a true example of loving what is. And you
And I
love
think
it,
that's,
and it gets better. It just does.
yeah. And I think that's a little bit about what that first lesson touched on too, is when you feel yourself falling out of a productive attitude, how to identify that and then how to turn that around.
Yeah.
I wish I could repeat how that works exactly. I just can't repeat that yet. I have to listen to it like 5 more times.
Yeah. Well, Earl knew what he was talking about, but he had to bury it. This was the 60s. I mean, nobody, it wasn't really until the 80s that Earnhardt, or what was the guy's name? The S training guy, Werner Earhart.
Yeah.
Was the S
Right.
training. You know,
Right.
he started to come out and talk about this. And that's kind of how I got my start in this. That's a whole nother two martini story. But Earl buried in this Lead the Field program these universal principles of how thoughts turn to things. But he had to kind of shroud them in there because people would have been like, what is this craziness? And now we're able to have the awareness to say, oh, you know, this is actually what was in the Bible. Oh, this was what was in the, you know, in a lot of the scriptures. This is in philosophy. This is in quantum physics. Thank you, Joe Dispenza and Bruce Lipton. So absolutely. But there's a beautiful image in here of how your thought energy you choose your thoughts, right? With your higher intellectual factors. And then you get emotionally involved in it. And then that sets up a vibration that moves your body into action and attracts to you what you need or what you're in harmonious vibration with, which causes a reaction, which causes your results. That's it in a nutshell.
Mhm.
So if I'd gone nuts, there would have been a whole lot of downstream effects that would have happened. And the fact that I maintained my composure, Lydia was so cute. She's like, "Oh, Mama, I'm so sorry." She hugged me and she goes, "Do you want to not ski?" I'm like, "No, come on, let's go." And so it was a beautiful day. And I'm not saying that to edify myself, or it's not that big. I don't know how, there's probably several $1,000s worth of damage in my car. Big deal. Cars come and go, but how we handled ourselves in those moments of times of being tested, right, Laura? It's just the loving what is, like, oh, well, it's what happened. And so we're going to learn how to really manage ourselves in a way and see the effect of that.
And your
I
daughter
want you,
will always remember
oh
how
yeah,
you handled that,
yeah.
Yeah.
And she can have a little of a temper, which I think comes from her paternal grandmother. But she's much more even keeled now that she's, sober and has been for a while. But I just thought it was so beautiful. Exactly. So we're showing the people around us. So this week I want you to do a couple of things. What and why? What and why? What would I love and why? The what will give you the image of it, and the why will get you emotionally involved in it.
The why just makes my heart beam.
Yeah. Good. It should,
Powerful.
Laura. The work you're doing is incredible. The work everyone here is doing is incredible.
You don't have to do grand things to do grand things.
No.
No.
Do small things in a grand way.
Yeah.
So that's your homework / play work is
Yeah.
to come back next week. And I want to hear from each of you. You can put it into the WhatsApp. I want you, it's the most important for you to have an image of what you would love. And I would include in that having it be easy. Can we all have a deal where we agree to just lay down the struggle, lay down the hustle?
Yeah.
But responding to inspired, quiet.
Mhm.
What is that called?
Inspired action.
Yeah, I keep wanting to call it revelation because of my
That's fine.
personal point of view, but
That's okay.
quiet, gentle, happy
Yeah.
action. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Because
frantic.
exactly. I think here's an interesting thing. When we're not connected to the what and the why, like the why that makes you cry, when you're not connected to that, we try to make up for that lack of connection with behavior, with action, with hustle and grind.
Oh, well, that's
because
interesting.
that's how we've been trained to feel like we're doing something.
I
What
never
we're
realized.
really,
Or,
yeah, what we're really I'll say that again. What we're really seeking is that alignment. And the beautiful effect of that alignment is the manifestation of whatever we're aligned with.
hmm.
It's that easy. Let's play with that and see. Let us see, shall we? So that's the thing, the what and the why. What am I going to give my life to? What am I going to devote my energy to? Staying calm, staying in alignment, staying in the highest and best for everybody involved, staying in an energy of love versus fear, right? Staying in faith, staying in belief, building that belief. Are you going to be perfect in that? No, that's not the game here, pretty people. The game here is experiencing that more often than not. Okay. And then I want you to do a little experiment, play with it a little bit with this energy thing. Think about some things you would love to have happen this week that are not a slam dunk. And just use that plugged in, the what and the why, the plugged in feeling, the gratefulness that it's happened, and being okay with it. If, it's not like a white knuckle thing. It's like, it's okay either way, but everything is possible. Wouldn't that be cool? And see what happens. And if it happens, cool. If it doesn't, cool. But what we're playing with here is this energy, focusing the energy on, oh, that's so cool. I can't wait to see how that happens. Fun story. So you guys know Joni. She's staying with us for a bit, and she is really good friends with the Indigo girls, particularly Emily. They've known each other for decades. Really, really close friends. And we went to see them at the Vivint Center, and it was an amazing show. Well, my good friend, of all the people in the world, my good friend Geraldine, produced a movie called It's Only Life After All. And it's a documentary, and it's premiering at, oh, I have chills, at Sundance. And so Emily called up Joni and said, hey, bring Peggy and come. Well, I'm going to Florida. Damn it, Janet. So Joni's going to go to Park City and Sundance for Sundance. Those who know, Sundance is a big hot deal in Park City. It's like the premier place that movies go to be bought and sold and premiered. So we have a place over there, and it's booked full. And I just called yesterday and I said, wouldn't it be nice if instead of driving all the way to Park City and driving all the way back, Joni and her sister could stay at our place at the club? And I called, and Jay was like, gosh, Peg, I wish I could help you. I'm sorry, it's booked. And I said, on top of that, I'm not going to be there, which is kind of against the space available rules. But he's like, well, you could be here. And I said, that's true. I could be in spirit. And, so here, the net is he called me today. He's like, you're never going to believe this. I'm like, okay. A room opened up because
Yeah.
somebody's canceled their reservation. I'm like, that's so amazing. But it's always like in the spirit of Florence Scovel Shinn, only for everybody's highest and best. So I'm sure for those people, that was their highest and best, and there was a reason that they, couldn't come. So, so play with it like that. I'm playing with us getting an upgrade to first class from Detroit to Miami. There's currently no seats. We're 1 and 2 on the list, but it's anything can happen Wednesday. So I'm going to play with it and see how it's going to go.
Let us know, Peggy.
I'll keep you posted.
Yeah.
We are in
Yeah.
first to Detroit, so.
Yeah. Yay.
Text
So,
us
but
and let
either,
us know.
yeah, either way, it's going to be fun. So play with it, have fun with it, because this is where we can see where our energy goes and how we can just make it easy. Like, wouldn't it be nice if, and then have the face. Like for a minute there, I was like, on the Delta app, like, have we been upgraded? And I was like, this is working against you. Put the shovel down and back away. Put the shovel down and back away.
Well, the
Okay?
G6. I told
The
Bruce.
G6. I
Yeah.
know. Remember when, Laura? Remember when we weren't in the G6?
Yes.
That's this year.
Yeah. Oh
She
my
here. She coming. Can't wait.
God.
We're gonna have big party. That's the
So
other
worth
thing I'm
it.
doing with all my clients this year. I'm going to have a holiday party with all of my clients. You're all
Oh,
invited. There you go.
we're
It's gonna
coming.
be, you're beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, my friends, I love you. Do you have any
Yeah.
questions?
No,
No, have a
Well,
great time.
yeah.
Thank you.
When do you
Enjoy.
get back? Will you get back?
Sunday night.
Okay,
So Thursday, this is your, gather yourself together. The
right.
what and the why, the what and the why, the what and the why. No concern for the how, the what and the why, the what and the why. And then, play with the energy of it. You start to feel the energy drop. You're like, wait a minute, I have a choice. What would I love? Think of Phil. Laura, what would you love?
Phil.
Okay, Phil. We'll get
You
Phil
know where
out
my
here.
goals are going.
We'll get Phil out here, or we'll make a trip to go
I
see
will
Phil.
make you
How's that?
proud, Peggy. I will make you proud. I
You
promise. I will
couldn't
make
be.
you will be so happy to be involved and to be on that red carpet.
Listen, I couldn't be more proud of each and every one of you. The love I feel for you, and I don't mean this to be creepy, but it's just like the courage that you all exhibit in doing this work and investing in yourself and showing up with me. Now, that's rare. That's a rare, beautiful soul. I think we all have a beautiful soul, but you guys are putting your money and your time where your mouth is, and you're doing the work. And I know that the ripple effect of each and every one of us, right? That's going to be beyond any of our comprehension. So do your work. I'll see you same time, same channel next week.
Ciao, everybody.
You know how to get to
Bye-bye.
me. If you have any stuff, WhatsApp it, text me.
We will.
I'm here.
Got it.
Bye.
Have a great time. Take care.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.